Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Oh, that hurt. And I'm gonna make sure the lid's on tight like this. Hold it upside down for a sec. That they ate in 3 days. And lo and behold, is it empty? Gosh. Hello, my beekeeping friends. I'm pumped and I'm on fire today about beekeeping. I have a passion to help you know more about beekeeping. And today we're going to jump in a couple of hives because they are desperately in need of some liquid food. I made a couple of splits. I got to put some liquid on there to boost them up. A lot of you are buying our additive packets, and that's what I'm going to be showing you today. It comes with the pollen powder that I use. It also comes with the Honey Bee Healthy and the Amino Bee Booster. And so what I like to do, I've already mixed up my sugar water to feed bees. Now you should be feeding your bees if they are a split, if they're still drawing out some wax foundation or plastic foundation, if they're not moving along very good with nectar, they're not really a big colony coming out of winter, they don't have a lot of food, you should be feeding them. And it's a good thing to feed them liquid. I like to feed them liquid from the top. If it cools off like it will tonight, well, this on top is going to stay warm and they'll continue to eat it even on cold night. Those of you that are installing packages really need to put this on top of your packages to help them get off to a very robust start. Now, this is what I always recommend. All of you are always asking me this. I've made video after video. I bet I've made 5 videos about this. And some of you still ask me, how do you do it? How do you mix it together? I'll add a teaspoon of Amino Bee, a teaspoon of Honey Bee Healthy, a teaspoon of pollen powder. So we're just gonna put a teaspoon. Doesn't have to be rocket science, but I do like to get my measurements about the same. A full teaspoon. Dump that in there. Now let's take the Honey Bee Healthy, shake them up good, and then we'll do the same thing here. We'll add a teaspoon as well. Get this opened up. Looks like I broke the seal. They're going to be upset that I took a whole additive pack out of the shipping room that was probably going to somebody, and I just helped myself to it. They're going to be like, "We're missing one, David. Do you know anything about that?" I'm going to be like, "Nah, I don't know who would have done that." All right, then we're going to add Honey Bee Healthy, 1 teaspoon. I don't care what the label says. I like a teaspoon. Now, is that a quart or is this 2 quarts? This is 2 quarts, right? Now, before I confuse you, I just realized this is 2 quarts. So they get 2 teaspoons. In other words, you get 1 teaspoon per quart. So then, since this is 2, we're going to give it another teaspoon of Honey Bee Healthy and another teaspoon of Amino Bee Booster, another type of protein to give them. So we're giving them 2 teaspoons simply because it is 2 quarts. The other ones here, the smaller ones, are 1 quart. So we'll give them 1 teaspoon of each. All right, so what we're going to do here is take a level teaspoon of pollen substitute, pollen protein powder, pollen substitute. That's 2 there. Now, once you do that, you want to shake it up really good. I hope you love my enthusiasm and passion for honeybees. And one of the ways you can show your loyalty to my channel here, you can support me, is by subscribing, clicking on the bell, and give me a thumbs up on the video. It helps so much. Let's get back to this work. And it is kind of difficult, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Already you can see that it has turned orange, and that orange color is from the pollen protein substitute that is already dissolving in there. So don't sweat it if all the protein powder doesn't really mix up well. If you're really worried about it, I would recommend that you can take it inside to your house and put it in a mixer, and you can blend it. You can blend it really high speed, and it will blend all the protein more. Now, a lot of times the protein will get onto the lid, but it will not block the holes. The bees will push their proboscis through there and actually keep it flowing good. But you can see it's turning the pollen substitute, protein substitute color, so we know it's getting mixed up good enough for bees, right? All right. So we have one of them done. We're going to do 2 more because we're going to put 3 on today. You're going to go out to the field and help me. Now, how did I mix this sugar water? Actually, I filled the jar half full of sugar. Maybe it was water first, but I filled it half with, let's say, yeah, it was very hot water. And then I poured in the rest with sugar. And then I just stirred it. I don't boil it. It just comes out of my kitchen sink at a pretty hot temperature. So I don't have to boil it. It's enough just to be able to dissolve your sugar. Guys, it's good that you joined me today. I really appreciate it. Always good to have you with me on a YouTube video. If you haven't seen my last video where we opened up a very hot hive, you need to watch that one because boy, I taught you guys how to actually deal with finding the queen when you have to in a hive that's hot, and how to make a split from it. So that'd be a good one for you to watch if you haven't seen that yet. I'll leave a link in the description and help you out that way. Let's stir this instead of shaking it. My hands got all sticky. All right, look at that. Yeah, it's going to be cooling off the next few days, probably all throughout the country, at least in the Midwest and up north. It's going to be cooling off. And for about a week, it's not going to be, it's strange weather, isn't it? We've got our dandelions coming up nicely here in Illinois. And I was surprised. I went out to look at my dandelions. I didn't have a lot of my bees on it. And there's so many trees that are blossoming, big blossoming trees of various sorts. And so the bees are really bringing in a lot of pollen off a lot of those trees. Not really too interested in dandelions just yet, but I tell you, the dandelions weren't doing too much. And then me and Sherry mowed our 5 acres, and all at once the dandelions, boy, they really started popping once we mowed the grass. That was crazy. So they're coming up. It's going to be a little bit before they get totally all over the place, but they're making their way up. Okay, let's keep mixing. I feel like a chemist here. Now, do you have to be this exact? I really don't think so. I'm doing it just to demonstrate to you guys what this is all about. So this is, I think this is about a quart jar. And so we're actually just putting a teaspoon per quart. In case you're not clear what I'm doing. 1 teaspoon a quart of 3 things. Protein powder, amino bee booster, honeybee healthy. I still get asked that question. I don't understand. I watched your video. What are you doing? Okay. I put 3 things in here. Amino bee, a teaspoon per quart, 1-to-1 sugar water. I put a teaspoon of protein powder. Everybody has to say, oh, I got to get the same powder you get. Well, just buy our packet that comes with the powder and everything. See, look, you don't have to buy 40 pounds of it like I do. I buy a lot of 40-pound bags. We'll send you one that you can take care of your hives. This works with a lot of hives. You don't have to buy a 40-pound bag. Then I take my Honeybee Healthy and add 1 teaspoon of Honeybee Healthy to it as well. And that's it. 3 things, got it? Honeybee Healthy, Amino Bee Booster, protein powder, pollen powder, what do you want to call it, per quart. 1-to-1 sugar water. Mix your sugar water from your sink with very hot water. 1 part water, 1 part sugar. A lot of you will get really confused about, I'm so confused, is it dry weight or wet weight? Because water is wet weight and sugar is dry weight. There's a difference, David. You know, let's don't get that technical. Fill the jar halfway up with 1 thing, like water or sugar. Fill the rest of it up with the other thing. That's pretty awesome. I try to make things simple. And you're not going to get so technical with it that the bees care. Hey guys, do you subscribe to some of the bee magazines that are out there? There's the American Bee Journal, and I always enjoy talking to the editor of the Bee Journal, Eugene. And then there's Bee Culture. And I want you to know that I'll be a columnist now for Bee Culture. Jerry Hayes called me up a month ago and said he would like to ask me to write articles once a month. So I'll be in there. Check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below where you can check out Bee Culture if you want to go ahead and subscribe to that magazine. You read my articles that I'm writing in there. That'd be great. Looking forward to that. I've already written a couple articles that are coming out. I think I come out in May is when I'll first make my debut in Bee Culture. I've always enjoyed Bee Culture and American Bee Journal. Good magazines. They have a lot of good information in there. That's a great way for all of you that are brand new to beekeeping to just sit down and, you know, have a little free time, Look at those magazines. Now let's go ahead and take a field trip out to the hives. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna feed my bees from the top with my feeder board. And that's awesome because we actually have gotten a lot of those in stock recently. So if you're interested in feeding the way I am, stay tuned. Let's get started. Now there's no rhyme or reason why sometimes I wear my bee suit and maybe no gloves. Sometimes I wear gloves. Sometimes I wear my hat and veil with the window that I put in. I made a video just to do it yourself. Put a piece of plastic in there so you can see the eggs better. That's kind of just the reason I did it. So today I just saw this and I just grabbed it. And the reason I'm wearing gloves is because I really don't want to light a smoker right now. I'm just going to do a quick little swapping out of the winter bee kind with a Burns feeding system. Look at these great tops, how lightweight they are. I love that. So normally I would smoke under here, and I may today wish I had. Let's see. Maybe the bees would be nice. Who knows? Let's see what's going on with this candy board. This hive was in a video that I made a few weeks ago, and I made a split out of it, and I was surprised how much of the candy that they ate in 3 days, and lo and behold, is it empty? Gosh. So I think right now I'd rather feed them. Yeah, it's empty again. So they've eaten about 12 pounds of just solid sugar here in a little bit, in a little while. So we'll go ahead and put this on here. And this way what we can do, you know, it almost smells like goldenrod. That's weird. I'm trying to move the bees out of the way so I don't smash them. There we go. All right, look at that. So now I'm going to take my sugar water that I have, and you want to make sure your lid is on very tight so that it doesn't keep dripping. You'll see a few drips after it kind of develops a vacuum seal. And once that's sealed off, we'll put that there. Now what we're going to do is this is a big 2-quart jar. We need a deep hive body to go around it. All right, so we'll put a deep hive body here. That gives us a little space. Really can't decide if I want to cover those holes up or not. It's going to get a little cool tonight. You know what? I think I want to cover those holes up. Let's grab something. Now I want to tell you guys about the burlap that I use. This is a food grade quality burlap, and every beekeeper has got to have a lot of this. I love this. I go through a ton of it. I use it for things like right now I'm going to just kind of provide a little bit of block insulation around the holes that I'm not using on my feeding board. And that way, if it does cool off, I won't have a big heat loss out of the top into this box. It probably wouldn't matter that much, but I like to block that off. But I use it for smoker fuel, not using smoke today, but normally I use my burlap for smoker fuel. I've got links in the description about the burlap where you can get it, food grade quality, and I really like it. I hope you really get some for yourself to use anytime you need it like this. I've used it for inner covers on my circular hive, and I've used it for smoker fuel and for blocking stuff like this. Okay, well, as you can see, we're feeding this hive. They're starved to death. They've gone through 12 pounds of hard sugar with protein, all my mixture in it. They've done that probably in 12 days. This is the 15th, but they may have eaten that a few days ago. So think of it like they're going through a pound a day of food. So this liquid is going to really give them the boost they need. Now let's head up to the new apiary where we need to do the same thing to 2 splits that I made. Hey, look at this. Putting the golf cart in front of the hive like this for a few days has caused my bees to take a new orientation flight. Sometimes when I make a split this close to the mother hives, they just go right back to the same hive. So by putting something close in there, it forces them to take a new orientation flight, and looks like it's worked pretty well. So let's go ahead and start feeding this split. We made this split out of the more defensive colony in the last video I made, and so today we're going to check on them. I'm not going to use any smoker gloves because I just want to put a feeder on there and start feeding them. Hopefully they'll be pretty tolerable of me doing that. Wow! Nope, just got stung on the hand. Should have known better. Look at that. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. Oh, that hurt. Yep, this hive is just, no matter what I do, they're a little defensive. So now you see sometimes why I wear gloves. Protect my head, Put the gloves on, it protects my fingers up, most of my arm. All I'm gonna do is just put a top on here, a top feeder, so I'm not gonna be pulling frames out, but always use a smoker. Don't do as I do. Yeah, you'd think bees would perceive that I'm trying to help them out and be nice to me. All right, let's put the top feeder on like this. Once we get the top on, we hold the bees down. Again, I'm going to take the feeder and I'm going to make sure the lid's on tight like this. Hold it upside down for a sec. Let the vacuum catch. Put it in the middle. I like the middle. Let's go ahead and put some burlap over the holes just a little bit. Need to wait and get the deep around here. I'm going to use a super today. These jars are quart-sized jars, so I can get by with a super. All right, that looks pretty good. I think all the bees that were mad at me have gone back into the hive. Well, I do like going to liquid feeding as soon as I can. I feel like I can get a pretty rapid brood buildup from feeding liquid. And right now the bees are still not in their maximum nectar flow for spring. So anything I can feed them or anything you can feed them will help them a lot this time of the year. Let's see, I got stung on the finger. I think it was this finger, wasn't it? Maybe this finger. I don't feel it anymore, but I think I got stung on this finger, so that's okay. Always something going on like that. So today, another windy day up here in the other apiary, but it's good to get at least one jar feeder on the split that we made out of the hot hive, and doggone it, did they not sting me. They just kind of boiled out when I took that top off. No, they're not Africanized. I think only one came out, but they're just a little hot. But like I said, they're really great. They're, I think they're better with handling mites and handling wintertime and everything. So I'm just willing to put up with that. They make good honey for me. You just have to dress up and smoke like I showed you on my last video. Now, if you didn't see that video, how to work a hot hive, because, there's kind of the scuttlebutt. The scuttlebutt is that more defensive or aggressive hives make a lot more honey. And they have a lot more bees. And they're more resistant to all of the viruses and everything. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's actually measured or not or tested, but that's a scuttlebutt. I'm keeping the darn hive and just taking a few stings here and there. But if you didn't see me make the video where we open up the hot hive, I showed you how to work a more aggressive hive. Check this video out right here. It's a good one. You guys really like it. See you over there.